Good morning. All right, how's everybody doing on a Tuesday morning? Well, I'm meteorologist Chita Craft. I'm going to give you a breakdown on your forecast today and over the next week. Help you plan and prepare your days to come because we are going to be talking about some rain. The good news is for your Tuesday morning, you know what, we're actually mostly dry. So satellite and radar picture, thought I would start off with what we're seeing right now. Clouds in place, some sunshine peeking through those clouds. But notice Matagorda County, near Matagorda Bay, you're tapping in to that isolated shower, that little downpour. And you can see what the red indicated there. This is probably going to stay just about like what we're seeing through about lunchtime today. After 1 o'clock this afternoon, that's when our thunderstorm chances are going to continue to ramp up, and some of these thunderstorms could be on the strong side. Live look outside in Galveston. Hello, Pleasure Pier. I love this shot in the morning. So it is on the breezy side. If you're waking up on the island with us, good morning to you. You'll start to see a little bit of the breeze with the palm trees in the air. Notice with the seas, we have southeasterly winds in place. Seas are going to be slightly choppy, especially as we head into the afternoon. But if you are trying to make today a Galveston day, really the best opportunity to go would be before noon. So you only have a couple of hours before some of the showers will probably kick on in. 70s and 80s out the door this morning. We're feeling more into the mid 80s. Factor in the humidity. 81 in Wharton, 80 degrees in Pearland, 85 in Galveston this morning. Temperatures across the board just about the same, so fairly uniform with the cloud cover in place. Let's talk about yesterday. If you were out and about yesterday afternoon, 97 for your afternoon high. Now typically we should be about 95, so we're not too far from our average temperatures, not breaking any records. Record 102. Today I'm forecasting a high of 95. Feeling though closer to about 100 to 101. Okay, I'll take you into our future track. So if you are trying to plan anything outside, take a look. This is 1 o'clock today. Notice a few showers that are around, and I think this is really accurate. So lunchtime, maybe an isolated shower pops up. It's similar there through 1 o'clock. Then as I fast forward from 1 to 5, daytime heating occurs, and that's when these thunderstorms start to fire up. So right during your afternoon and early evening commute home, 4, 5, 6, and 7 o'clock, that is when I'm expecting these thunderstorms to be the worst today. That's when some of these thunderstorms will be capable of producing even blinding rain at times. 1 to 2 inches of rain could be possible as we continue through afternoon. This is 11:30 tonight, and notice how the storms continue to break apart. So after 8 p.m., sun sets, we lose the energy of the day, and we lose those thunderstorms as well. So then we quiet things down, we dry things out overnight. Waking up tomorrow morning, maybe an isolated shower possible, but all in all, we stay mostly quiet for your overnight hours. And then we almost push repeat for your Wednesday. Last day of July tomorrow, and that's when some of those thunderstorms will fire up again. So that's 1 o'clock, and you'll continue that trend through tomorrow afternoon. As far as rainfall accumulations, the amount of rainfall I'm expecting over the next 2 days. So notice this is through Thursday, 10 o'clock, widespread amounts between about 1 to 2 inches of rain. Now, some of you may only pick up a few tenths of an inch today. Some of you may pick up over an inch of rain. It just depends on where these thunderstorms start to fire up. Everyone is susceptible to seeing some heavy rain at times throughout the day, but the majority of you, I think, will stay below that 1 inch mark. So I'm not expecting a flash flood threat, but if you do see any high water spots, it's probably more related to poor drainage, maybe in the area, but that is possible. A quick inch of rain can lead to a few high water spots, you know that. All right, let's talk pollen, because this is some good news. Now I know your ragweed is still checking in at moderate levels, but otherwise, low levels with your tree pollen, your grass pollen, and your mold spores. So that is good news. This is better than what we saw this past weekend. Big break in the allergy index. Always love to report on that. Okay, quick check of the tropics, just to let you know what's going on. So throughout the Gulf, notice, calm and quiet. We like to see that. We're not expecting any new development within the Gulf over the next at least 5 days, hopefully after that. 2 areas that I'm watching I've circled, so these are tropical waves. You could say a disturbance, just an area of clustered thunderstorms just in the open Atlantic. Off the coast of Africa, near the Cape Verde Islands here, notice that's one wave that I'm tracking. And then into the Atlantic, towards the Caribbean, this is the second one. This is expected to stay pretty much east of Florida and ride up the eastern seaboard. only a 10% chance from the National Hurricane Center of developing over the next 5 days. So really, chances remain extremely low with that. But I'll put this into future mode for you, show you some of the models, indicating we're talking an eastbound track. Again, even so, less than 10% chance of developing. So not a whole lot to show you at this point, which is always good news when we're talking about the tropics heading into August. So I want to show you, we're just before August. Again, tomorrow is the last day of July. August begins on Thursday, and we peak with our hurricane season September the 10th. So notice the steady incline of storms that develop during the month of August and early September. And then after the peak, that's when we start to see a big drop in the amount of storms across the Atlantic through end of September and especially October. So we'll really start to see the amount of storms that we're tracking probably ramp up as we trend into early August. Now today, back to the forecast, 95 this afternoon, feeling closer to about 100, 101. There's the 60% chance for some of those thunderstorms. Best timeline that I can give you will be after 1 o'clock this afternoon and before 8 p.m. this evening. And it really ramps up by 4, 5, and 6 o'clock this evening. So just stay weather ready. If you're trying to make any plans outside, I would try maybe to rethink those today. If you can put it off till Thursday, Friday, or the weekend, that's when our rain chances really dramatically drop. Now, because we are live, we're streaming live, I'm going to try to check in, see if we have any comments. Hope everybody's doing all right here on your Tuesday. You ready for the work week to already be over? Or are you having a good one? I don't know. You feel rested out there? Let me see. Okay, here we go. So, Cajun Kathy, hello, good morning to you. She said, how do we line up with the yearly hurricane forecast? It is a little bit early to tell you as far as how many storms we're going to see because it is so early. We really ramp up during the months of August and September. If anything, we've been a little bit earlier than normal. If you remember late May to early June, just before hurricane season started, we actually had our first named storm. So if anything, we actually started off a little bit earlier than normal, but that doesn't have a projection of how many storms that we'll actually see for the year. Let's see here. Well, who said? Oh, Sue said she's off today. Well, that's exciting. Good for you. Let's see, what else do we have? Somebody asked us about tacos. Always a fan of that. Let me get back to this. Just updating this. Want to answer any questions that y'all may have here. Ooh, Ricardo. You see our producer in the back? Check out Jaime. Yeah, he's working it over here. This is the right there. That's our guy, Ricardo. He's asked if we had any cool friends on the way, and I hate to break it to you. Womp womp. It is that time of the year. No cool friends on the way. No, in fact, 7-day and even the extended. No, we're talking mid-90s, mid to upper 70s overnight, even some low 80s. But I tell you what, wasn't last week nice? That was so nice when we had those 60s in the forecast. That was pretty amazing. No, not expecting that. So Brittany Mims asked, is a hurricane coming? No, not at this point. We have a good stretch here of quiet conditions, and especially in the Gulf and even in the Caribbean. I'll show you that. Here, I'll show you what we do look for, though, so you can see what I see on our satellite imagery. I'll broaden the scope out. So notice when you look across the Gulf, so here's Texas, here's, of course, the Gulf Coast, there's Florida. Notice all throughout the Gulf how blue, calm, and quiet it is. When you start to see the yellow, the orange, and the red, those big flare-ups on the map, those are thunderstorms. And notice the front draped across now the eastern seaboard. That was that front that, gave us all the 60s last week. That was so nice. Well, that's pushing off to the east. So those thunderstorms that are attached with it, you can see those flare up. So just like that, notice here, working in the Atlantic towards the Caribbean, that wave, that's a disturbance with a cluster of thunderstorms, and just the same right off the coast of Africa. But at this point, neither one of those are expected to develop into anything, and even if they do, they're expected to stay east of the coastline on the East Coast. How about that? So east of Florida, and won't be a Gulf Coast thing.
Eric was asking about the rain chances at Hobby today.
Oh, okay. So Erica asked about rain chances at Hobby today. Good morning, Erica. I'm going to keep everybody about the same because we're not talking about a front or anything that's specific that's going to fire up these storms, except some daytime heating and a big ridge of high pressure to our west. So about a 60% chance. Now, I'm going to take you through the afternoon and show you future track has varied a little bit today. So some models are trying to intensify these thunderstorms a little bit stronger than others. What I would say, I would prepare, so I stopped this around 3:30 and noticed pretty much everyone tapping into at least some shower activity. Some of these thunderstorms could produce 1 to 2 inches of rain. That's blinding rain. It could be heavy enough for a very brief period of time that could potentially ground planes. That's not out of the question. If you're supposed to fly out today between 2 and 8 p.m., yeah, just make sure you check in with your airline. Now, it's not going to be a widespread event through the afternoon. If that would happen, it should be about a 15 to a 30-minute window there. But let's see here. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you, one of our viewers was planning on going swimming today, like up in Conroe. How far will these storms reach?
Okay, we have someone who wants to go swimming in Conroe. He says, how far will they reach? Areas north of town will be under the threat to see those thunderstorms again, just like you were yesterday. So you have a couple of options. One, just maybe wait till Thursday. Or two, you could say, hey, you know what? We'll plan to go swimming, and then if we hear thunder, we bring it inside immediately. So just have a quick plan of action. Be weather ready that if thunderstorms do move over the area, then you can bring it on inside. You don't want to be outside if you hear thunder. And okay, Jaime, well, goodbye. All right, I'll leave you last look at the 7-day, and then that way you can see for yourself. 95 though, so don't let your guard down about the heat today. 95, feeling up to about 100 to 101, still going to be hot. Heat doesn't let down. It's still going to be hot even to early next week. Hope you have a great day, guys. Okay, goodbye. See you later. Toodaloo.